Hello everybody and welcome. I have not been in the shop all week. I have had responsibilities at work that have kept me from shop, from home, from everything. I've just been super insanely busy, but I'm in the shop today. I don't know that I'm gonna do any shop projects though. I do have a big project to do. Let me show you. That's my attic crawl space. I need to go get my ladder out of the shed, go up in that crawl space because when we built this house, I've lived here for 2 years now. When we built this house, I had a bathroom put in the bonus room, which is above the big garage over there. And that bathroom, I found the pipes last year froze up once. We got down below freezing, maybe 25 degrees, 27 degrees, and they froze. And I went up there and put some foam insulation on them, and it helped. They didn't freeze again all year. And this year, up until it got down to the single digits. Now that we're in single digits, my pipes are freezing again. And the problem is, in the builder, when they built the house, the pipes just come through the wall, and they're just literally, there's insulation on the wall. The pipes are just hanging there in the open attic. And you know how attics work. There are vents around the roof, and air goes in, and then there are vents on the top, and the air goes out the top. So it stays super cold up there. That's really for the heat, reduction of the heat. But it stays super cold up there. So my pipes are freezing. They're PEX, so they should be able to take some expansion. But what I've got to do is figure out some way. Last year I put foam insulation on them, and that helped. We didn't have any issues, like I said, until we got to the single digits and just, maybe 10, 12, 13 degrees. But we've had about 2 to 3 weeks of blisteringly cold weather for us. Not for many of you. I know some of you guys deal with a lot worse. But I got to do something with those pipes. And preliminarily, I think what I may do is remove the foam insulation I put on them and get some of that pipe wrap, the electric pipe wrap. And I may wrap them with electric tape, whatever it's called. I don't know. I have to go to the hardware store and figure it out. And then put the foam insulation back on. And that way, when temperatures get like this, I can flip it on, leave it on for a couple of days until the cold weather clears, and then I don't have to worry about the pipes freezing. And the fact that they froze is not a huge issue as long as they don't burst. That's what I'm worried about. And I know PEX will expand quite a bit before it bursts, so I think I'm going to be okay. But I'm worried about the fittings because I found that they use a lot of ABS fittings on this PEX pipe. And I don't know, on the hot water lines, I don't think they're supposed to. They use it on the cold water lines, and I'm worried about the ABS splitting because it will expand and burst. So I'm going to get my ladder, and then we're going to climb up in there, and if I don't forget, and if I take my phone up with me, I'll show you guys around up there. Okay, I've been up in the attic, and I took a hairdryer up there just to kind of put some heat on the pipes, and that's what I did last year. And I got to thinking, why in the world am I doing this? I plan on putting heat tape on there anyway. Why don't I just go ahead and buy the heat tape and let the heat tape do the work, and it cuts my time. So I just got back from the hardware store, and let me show you what I bought. This is a roll. It's a roll of wire, and there's a thermostat. See that red thing with the black circle on it? That's a thermostat, and you basically use electrical tape and attach this to the bottom of your pipe all the way around. I'm sorry, all the way down the length of the pipe. Then you wrap it with this half-inch thick fiberglass pipe insulation, and that holds the heat in. And the thermostat will kick the heat on, or the electric on, when it needs it, and turn it off when it doesn't. Now the problem is, and it's not really a huge problem, I'll be able to correct this, I'm going to have to run that today with an extension cord. But what I'm going to do is put in an outlet, a ground fault outlet that can plug into up in the attic. And I need to do that because it's like 5 amps, and that's not going to be enough. If something happens to that, it may not be enough to kick a breaker. So I want to put a ground fault in there, which is a lot less. It's going to take a lot less of an issue to kick it. So we'll work on that next. But we're going to get that put up, and then while I was up there, I happened to notice that I had to cross over the master bathroom, and there is a shower in the master bathroom. And I didn't notice this last year when I was up there, but the vent in the center of the shower, and I didn't notice it because it was covered with insulation, blown-in insulation. I go up there today, and there's, between the rafters, the insulation's all blown back and gone. I get to looking, they never hooked up the vent, or the hose to the vent on the exhaust vent. So there's about a 6-inch gap between the hose and the exhaust port of the fan in the shower, and there's not enough slack to pull the flexible pipe back and attach it. So I bought one of these. You just basically roll this together and snap it together, and I've got some vent tape that I'll put down the vent. We've noticed it's been awful cold in the master bedroom and bathroom, and I think this is the reason why, because it's blown the insulation away. You've got this hole there, and even though there's a little tiny flap, it's just a little piece of plastic, there's this hole there, so all the cold that's settling in the attic is just coming right on down through that hole, and all the heat that's in the master bath is just escaping right up through that hole. And it's a 3-inch hole, so that's a lot, that's a huge area to let heat out and cold in. So I'm gonna get that put on there. What I'll do is I'll put that on the vent, and then I'll just cut the pipe back, you know, the flexible pipe a little farther back so that it slides onto the other end. I won't try to cut that. And then I'll use some of this, I've got some of this metal tape that they use for furnace vents, and I'll tape it all up, you know, which should seal it up really well. And then I'll bring the insulation back in and fluff it up right over top of it, which should help with the cold. And maybe we'll see a little warmer temperatures, you know, back in that part of the house. This is turning out to be a nightmare. I knew it would. It always does. So I'm going to head up there now, and I'll show you some photos or a video of what it looks like. And then I got to get to work putting all this together. I got to gather some tools first.
I hope you're not scared of heights, because that's where we're going.
Here we go. Up the ladder. I've already got all of my tools and everything up in the attic. You can see I got my light over there. Back behind those vents, that is the return and the outside, or the outbound side of my furnace. And you can see that vent stack right there. Actually, that's the main vent stack. That's where we're heading to. Let's see what we can do. We got to be really careful getting up into this attic. There we go. We're going to walk on some of these boards. You see I got a long board here to stand on. There's what I'm talking about right there. Let me get you a closer shot of the vent that's not hooked up. So that's was a pleasant surprise. We're going to get that going. All right, let's work our way over there. I'm going to shut the camera off because I got to get my tools over there, and we'll come back in a minute and take a look. Okay, we're a little bit closer. You can see the black pipes running through there that I wrapped last year, and here's where they come out of the ceiling. I'm not sure where they're running up in the attic. I haven't traced them down under the insulation yet, but that right there, my friends, is my problem. I believe they come up the wall. Let's see. Yes, this is the laundry room below this. So they're coming up the wall from the laundry room and poking through the wall there, and then they're just running over to the toilet and the sink. Okay, I'm up here. I've made my way over, and I have only got about maybe less than 10 feet of pipe, and I've got a 24-foot length of that electric, the wire, and you're not supposed to have any extra. You're supposed to keep it pretty close. So really what I probably need is to go back and get a 10-foot length. I didn't realize that until I read the instructions getting ready to install it. What I think I'm going to do, though, is I think what I'm going to try, I'm over here behind the furnace. I'm going to go ahead and put some of that 1/2-inch fiberglass wrap over top of the wrap I already have on these. Let me flip you around. I bet you this is my problem here. I don't have the corners good, but I'm going to wrap this with some of that 1/2-inch wrap. And then I've got a roll of fiberglass insulation, and I'll tack it up here on the wall and just let it drape down over these and touch the floor. This didn't freeze until it got to the single digits. We don't get there very often. So I'm thinking if I wrap that and I cover this to kind of hold any heat in, I don't think I'm going to need that electrical wire. I think I'm going to get by without it. And if I do need it, I'll just go back and get, now I know I need the 10-foot section. I'll just purchase the 10-foot section, unwrap it, put that on, and wrap it back up. That's what we're going to try. Well, I was getting ready to go up in the attic, and just before I did, my boy hollered out, "Hey, all the water kicked back on, toilet's flushing everything." So I looked at the temperature and it was fluctuating between 19 and 20 degrees. So that's really, normally we stay in the 30s here, so that's pretty good. What I've done is it was a pain in the neck, but I've wrapped those pipes with 1/2-inch fiberglass insulation, a roll of that. And what I think may have happened is that foam that went around the pipes, there was a little bit of a gap, okay? Because when it went on, it's supposed to be for 3/4 inch pipe, but you know what I mean? That stuff is never exactly what they say. So it didn't close all the way. And I'm thinking that gap down the side may be what let it freeze, because it did last up until, you know, like I said, it didn't really stop until it got down in the single digits, like 9, 10 degrees. What I've got up here, and I'm a little out of breath from climbing around, this roll of fiberglass insulation. And what I think I'm gonna do, I'm gonna bring that down, and the pipes are only about 3 feet off the floor. So I'm gonna get my staple gun and I'm gonna cut about 3-foot long, about 4-foot long strips of that. And I'm gonna take it up above the pipes and I'm gonna staple it to the wall. It'll be tight against the wall, but then it'll fluff out and it'll fluff. They're close to the wall, so I'll just let it drape all the way down and just let it drape right on top of, it just lay right on top of the fluffy insulation, the blown in insulation that's up there. Now I'm not gonna let it compress it. I'm gonna fluff that back up and it's just gonna kiss the top of it. And I think what that may do is build another bit of a pocket that may get me through without any more issue. We will know tonight, because the next couple of nights is supposed to get pretty cold, and you know, I'll find out if it's gonna work or not, but I think that's probably what got me. And if I can hold just another degree or two in there, I think I'll be okay. So we'll see what happens, but I gotta figure out, I gotta get that down and figure out how to get it cut and get it up in the attic and get it over there. That's a bear, I tell you what, for an old man, that's tough. But I'll keep you guys posted and I'll show you what it looks like when it's done. But I have stapled that insulation to the wall and just draped it over the pipes. Let me get you down and around here. The pipes are all down there. There's that gap right there that covers a pipe. I think what I'm going to end up doing is pulling that insulation up and taking it down behind that pipe and then back out the bottom, and that should close that gap, and that ought to help really keep the cold away from those pipes. But you can see all the way across how I've got it, and it's just loose. It's not, it's stapled at the top, but the rest of it is just fluffed out and loose, and it comes all the way down to the bottom. Tough to see, I know, to the fluff insulation. Let me adjust that one piece. I've got this extension pipe mounted to my vent, and I've used some of this. This is tape that HVAC guys use when they put air conditioning, you know, the ductwork in. It's a really good brand. Nashua, I think it is, Nashua. It's a metal tape, and it'll seal that up. It sticks like crazy. Don't let it touch anything on the way to getting it to where you want it, because it sticks to everything. Now what I'm going to do is, I've got plenty of slack now. I'm going to cut that off and then attach that. I'll leave enough length to slide it up on there, and I'll attach it. Then I'll put some of that tape around to hold it on there, and this should ensure that all of the vented steamy air goes out through that line. And then I've pulled all the insulation back to be able to work the tape on there. I'll fluff all this insulation back up over top of it, and hopefully this will stop that issue. One last look before we head out of here. You see the pipe there. What I may end up doing is I may get some more of this fluffy insulation and just kind of fluff it up, you know, put a little bit more in this area here, because this is right over top of the bathroom, and then right here where my foot is the garage wall, or the header for the garage wall. So looks pretty good, and I'm happy with that. I'm ready to get the heck out of this attic. I got a bunch of tools to get down the ladder. So we're just going to shut the phone off, take our time, go nice and slow, do this as safely as possible. And I'm glad it's done. Well, those 2 jobs are finished, and man, am I glad. I hate being in the attic, you know. Years ago, we had a house and I was working in the attic, and I stepped off of a beam, and I put my foot through the floor. So it didn't, or through the ceiling, I guess it was. And it really didn't hurt anything. I was able to patch it and fix it, and you couldn't tell. But it kind of scares you because you think, man, what if I had fallen all the way through? You know, I'm not like really scared of heights per se, but I am kind of nervous about falling. I don't think anybody wants to do that. This job, you'd be surprised the mess it made in my shop. Let me show you the aftermath and what I got to start working on now. Of course, I got my big ladder to put away. There's not too much up on the counter, but down here, look at that, we've got all this insulation that's fallen out. I was up there looking for my light. Got to get that put back. There's my light, my trouble light. I got a box full of tools. Everything's moved around the shop. Stuff is just thrown everywhere just to get it out of the way. Over there on my table, I've got junk to get put away, hairdryer to go back in the house. It doesn't look that bad, but really the shop is in disarray. So I'm gonna take a few minutes and clean it. And I'm not gonna be out here a whole lot longer because I promised my wife she wants to put a tile backsplash. Okay, let me start that over. I promised my wife we would put a tile backsplash in the kitchen. And tonight, I'm going to take her out to dinner, and afterwards, we're going to go take a look at some tile and see if she can find something she really likes, and then we'll start getting prepped to do that. So, can I say I'm looking forward to it? Not really. But, you know, I did promise, and, you know, she deserves it, so we're gonna dress her kitchen up a little bit with a backsplash. Well, I got the shop straightened up. I'm not going to say it's clean because it's far from that, but I got all the main stuff put away. And what I'm going to do now real quick is I've got a package here, a couple of packages that came in the mail. We're going to find out what they are. I have an idea, but I'm not 100% sure because I ordered a bunch of junk. And beyond that, I think I'm going to go put my ladder in the shed, and that's going to be it because I need to get cleaned up. My wife is getting... It is 4 o'clock. We'll probably go out to dinner 5:30. So I want to get cleaned up, you know, from being in the attic and all that dang fiberglass and everything. I want to get cleaned up and get ready to go to dinner. So let's open these packages and see what we have, and then we'll close it up. I got 2 packages in the mail this week. Both are from China, and that's why I believe I know what they are. I think these are probably parts to help repair the drive on my lathe, or not the drive, but the control box. So let's see what we got here. Ooh, look at those. Those are the big MOSFET chips. They come, there's 5 of them in there. You can't buy them one at a time. You gotta buy 5 at a time, but that's all right. Let's see, best way to open this without doing any damage to the box, what's in it, or myself. There we go. Well, I thought I might have had that. I got her taped up pretty good, I'll give them that. Well, shucks. Tell you what, let's do. Let's go one further. We'll just put the tip of it in there. There we are. Oh, wow. Looks like it. Let's see what we got here. And, yep, these are... You might remember the little, well, let me pull it over here. This NTC, whatever that chip is right there, or whatever that component is right there. And same thing, you can't buy just one, you got to buy 5. So what we'll do is, once I get out here in the shop, I've got this MOSFET and this MOSFET still coming. I didn't buy the capacitor because with talking to a lot of the folks who are incredible at electronics and know like 50 billion times more than me, most of them said this is most likely not to be the problem. They really felt like one of the MOSFETs was the issue. So what I probably will do is I probably will change out this device first, or this component first, and if that doesn't fix it, then we'll change out the large MOSFET, and hopefully the other ones will be coming. They should be coming any time now, so we'll be able to change out all 4 of those components, and if we are lucky, we'll get this thing working. Well, I'm really excited about getting those chips because I'm really hoping to get that lathe, that control box going, and as promised, if I do get it going, those of you who are the electronics gurus have told me where to get that dipole switch, and I'm going to get one of those, and we're going to try to make this lathe reversible and let you guys know. See, look at there, I'm recycling. I'm a stamp collector from way back. My collection has been inactive for a number of years. But anytime I get something cool like that, some cool looking stamps, I always cut them off and keep them. And it's a lot of fun. I've got a lot of buddies who've sent me stamps from Australia and Sweden and just all over the world. And I hang on to those guys. I love them. I love those stamps. So I don't know. Maybe one day those will show up on a pin. Hey, that's not a bad idea. But my kids have shown no interest in it, so I haven't really broke it out in a while. Oh, I need to tell you guys something. My buddy Michael DeLauter, he has decided to kick off a YouTube channel. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to look up his YouTube channel, the URL, and I'm going to post it in the comments below. He's going to post a short introduction video today, just kind of introducing, I guess, himself and the channel. And then Michael is a big caster, does a lot of label casting. So I think you're going to be seeing some videos from him. So jump over and check him out. Subscribe to his channel and watch him for a while. The thing is, you may end up really liking what you see because he's a pretty cool dude and he does some pretty cool stuff. So I don't know what to expect yet, but I'm excited about it and I'm going to go subscribe. So beyond that, one last thing. When I went down to Texas to visit Lynn Lacey, I had made these blanks that had 2 of these bottle caps on each of them. I was able to pull one of the Route 66s off, but I put these in the acetone and they came out perfect. I didn't lose a single bottle cap. I've already used the Route 66, and the tubes had never been cast, so they're still the perfect length. So I was able to recover everything. What I'll do is I'll flatten these out because, see, they were not rounded. I didn't use the punches to curve these. I did them around the tubes, and they just didn't lay down nice, so we were concerned they would be above the level of the bushing. So I'm glad I got those. Bunch of bottle caps there. I'm going to flatten them out, and then I'm going to rebend them, and then we got those tubes, so next time I'm in the shop doing some painting, I'll get those tubes painted up, and I'll be able to cast some blanks with those bottle caps. I really like the single bottle cap blank. For some reason, that's really appealing to me. And I'm hoping, please don't hold me to this, but I got to get my button gear on my YouTube channel. My sister's waiting on me to take photos and give her descriptions, and I will do that very soon. And I'm hoping to get a little better at this casting deal and maybe sell some of these bottle cap blanks. So if anybody's interested in those, I think I'm gonna give that a try. I got a few over there that are ready. I just need to square the ends up because that's going to be one of the things. When they come to you, they'll be ready to go straight to the lathe. So I'm going to try to do that. That's just something I'm going to try to expand into, let's say, and that'll hopefully help pay for the casting addiction. Hey guys, listen, I've had a great evening. I want to thank you for joining me tonight and just hanging out with me. Remember, go check out my buddy Michael. I hope to be back in the shop tomorrow. I'm hoping all day tomorrow. Keeping my fingers crossed. I got to find out what my wife and kids have in store, but I think tomorrow's going to be an all-day shop day, so maybe, just maybe, I'll come up with something cool for you. Take care, have a great evening, and we'll talk to you soon.